pagans. And he ain't even introduced God to these kids. Because God said to Jacob, rise and go to Bethel and dwell there and make an altar there to God who appears to you. And when you fled from your brother. So evidently he never even told his sons about them. I mean, they're pagan worshipers. And you know where the problem comes in? Because there's a book called Joshua that says something about Abraham, but little do they know, Abraham in that very book says he was pagan too. The problem is God came to Abraham while he was there.
Right, he did. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Look at PJ said, Sister Sherry.
Yes, sir. Let me get it. Let me get his. No wonder why Joseph's brothers hated him. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. God bless you, Brother Bill. Welcome in, brother. God bless you. God bless you as well. Peace and blessings to you. Welcome in. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Listen.
And what did he say? What you meant for evil, God meant for good.
Oh my.
Because God was with him. He was a God-fearer. He feared God.
So they were out of pocket then.
Yeah, they was going to kill him if it wasn't for Judah. Wasn't that who the one that saved him and told him, "Oh, we just sell him into captivity, sell him into slavery"?
Yes, sir. Yes,
they were going to kill him.
Oh my goodness. Oh, we shut my mouth. But Brian, keep talking. Keep talking. What else we don't know?
Well, there's a lot of little things that these people ain't paying attention to. They're so focused on laws, they miss the whole Bible. They don't even know the whole Bible. Let's just say that. When you start talking to them and asking them questions about certain chapters, certain things, you might as well. This is where you look at them going, what in the world is wrong with you? You don't even know this chapter. I had this lady the other day that I comment in my chat, and the only argument she could give is you're just mad because you're Esau. What? So in other words, you can't deal with what I'm asking? All I was asking were, what is the chapter speaking of? When we go to Obadiah, I like to ask questions about what I'm reading. The first question is who, what, where, when, and why. And you have to, if you're a true journalist and you're examining the Bible, you should ask these questions. Okay, well, who wrote that? That should be one of your first questions. Who wrote that? Why did they write it? What was the purpose of this letter? What is all of this? But none of them do it. They just take a verse out of context, shove some information in it. This person used Acts 20:28 to try to say that this has something to do with slavery there. I wish I remember how they used it. I was like, what in the world are you talking about? I said, this is a book of history, and it's speaking of the history of the church, and you're over here talking about it's a prophecy.
So this is explaining why they don't stay in Genesis too long. They only use certain parts in Genesis that they think they can use. I mean, they do that throughout the entire Bible. But listen, with Genesis, they will not stay in Genesis too long. And that's a fact, family, right?
How many times do they go to Luke unless they go to certain verses in Luke?
Very rarely. Very rare, right?
We get Luke 21:24. We get Luke 168 and 172, and we might get some of chapter 2, but the rest of them, you might as well hang up. They don't know. They can't tell you what happened.
My God from Zion. Okay, so we know for a fact, Brother Brian, that definitely Abraham is most definitely a Gentile. He's coming from a Gentile land. Now we see him with Jacob and his 12 sons. They are into pagan, well, not Jacob, but he's worshiping God, but they still holding on to foreign gods. So now, listen, Brother Brian. Now you see the title that I got up here. Hebrew Israelites are lying. God made a covenant with a Gentile. Now, bro, am I wrong for making that kind of title? Because I mean, I know that's a stupid question, but sometimes stupid questions can lead to big answers. So I'm just wondering here if you can walk us through with Abraham, because again, it's being said that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and all the earlier patriarchs had the Mosaic law. If they did, just by what you brought out in Genesis 35 too, bro, listen, these people would have been killed. Most definitely, according to the law, they are supposed to be what? Stoned to death. So again, here now we got conflicting views here. Can we bring some clarity for the audience who are, I pray and hope, are taking notes here and paying close attention to what's being said here? I got more questions versus teaching. And hopefully right now you can step up in the place of teaching. Did they have the Mosaic law? Is it possible that they had the Mosaic law? If so, yes, please explain why. If not, please explain why. Help us out here tonight, bro.
No, he didn't need the Mosaic law. Remember, Genesis, man, you know this verse, Genesis 26.
Yes.
They love this verse. But there's a problem here. There's a huge problem, and none of them want to deal with it.
Okay, we're in Genesis 26 now.
Let's start at verse 1. All right, now the famine was in the land, besides the former famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went to Ger and Abimelech, the king of the Philistines, and the Lord appeared to him and said, do not go down. So he's telling another history. Do not go down to Egypt and dwell in the land. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with you, and I will bless you. For you and your offspring I will give all the lands, and I will establish the oath that I swore to your Abraham your father. Now watch this. And I will multiply your offspring as the stars of heaven, and will give you to your offspring in all the lands. And your offsprings and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed. Because Abraham, what did he do? Obeyed my voice and kept my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. Well, they love to point out, well, that's their statutes and laws and whatever. But the key to understanding this is Abraham obeyed his voice, but let me see if I can find this.
Okay.
We know the reason the law was given is because they were disobedient to God. So it's two different things. Let me see if I can find it right here.
And I got something else to bring out as well.
Told the people together something. All right, right here says, all right, and the people complained in hearing the Lord. This is Numbers 11. And the people complained in hearing the Lord about their misfortunes. When the Lord heard it, his anger was kindled, and his fire, the Lord, burned among them, and consumed some outlying parts of the camp. Then the people cried out to Moses, and Moses prayed to the Lord, and the fire died down. So the name of the place is called Tabernacle, because the Lord of the fire of the Lord burned among them. Now the rabble that was among them, strong craving, the people also went out again, and on and meat and ate. And we remembered the fish we ate in Egypt, the cost of cucumbers, the melons, the leek, the onions, the garlic, but now our strength is dried up, and there is nothing at all but this manna. Look at it. Now the manna was a coarse seed and appearance of like vellum. but the people were about and gathered it and ground it into hand mills or beat it in the mortars and boiled it in pots and cakes, and the taste of it was like taste of cake baked with oil. When they dew fell upon the camp the night, the manna fell it. When Moses heard the people weeping throughout the clans, everyone at the door of his tent, and the anger of the Lord blazed, Moses says to the Lord, why have you dealt till with your servant? And why have you not found favor in your sight? That you laid down the burden, all of these people on me. Did I conceive all these people? Did I give them birth that you should say, carry them in the bosom and the nurse, carry the church, nursing children to the land that you swore to give their fathers? Where am I get meat and give to all of these people? For they weep before me and give us meat that we may eat. I'm not able to carry all these people along. The burden is too heavy for me. If you treat me like this, kill me at once. And if I find favor in your sight, that I may not see my righteousness. Then the Lord says to Moses, gather me 70 men and elders, whom you elders of the people and officers, and bring them to the tent meeting and let them stand there. And I will come down and talk with you. And some of the spirit that is on you I will put on them, and they shall bear the burden of the people, so that you may not bear it yourself alone. And said to the people, concentrate yourself for tomorrow, but you should eat meat, and wept, who gives us meat to eat, for was better for us in Egypt. Therefore the Lord will give you meat, and you shall sell. You shall not eat just one day, you eat 2 days or 5 days or 10 days or 20 days, but the whole month until it comes out your nostrils and becomes loathsome, because you have rejected the Lord who is among you, and have wept before him, saying, why did we come out of Egypt? Stop it, Israelites, because there's too many verses in here to show that they did not keep the law in the beginning. He told them, and I forget where he's at, I think it's in Numbers 15. He says, y'all rebelled against me 10 times.
It's Numbers chapter 14, bro. That's Numbers.
So we go to these verses and point out that Israel disobeyed, and they want to talk about Abraham, but Abraham obeyed the voice of God. He didn't need a law of stone. He didn't need something wrote down to tell him what to do and how to live. He believed God. He didn't have to do all these other things. He didn't need something wrote down. So I'd be like, okay, Abraham, I want you to write this stuff down so you can remember to keep it. No, he didn't have to. He obeyed the voice of God. Everything he heard, and we see, what did you say, number 15?
It's Numbers chapter 14, and I'm looking for it right here. Right here it says, this is where after Moses is pleading with the Lord thy God not to kill them, because he says that he's slow to anger, steadfast, full forgiving, and da 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 da. And then he says, pardon the iniquity of these people according to the greatness of your steadfast love, just as you have forgiven this people from Egypt until now. Then the Lord said, I have pardoned according to your word. But truly, as I live, and as all the earth shall be filled with the glory of the Lord, and none of the men who have seen my glory and my signs that I did in the wilderness, and yet have put me to the test these 10 times and have not obeyed. I was right.
Okay. Every single time, chat, listen to me. Every single time they bring up Abraham, point to this verse. Abraham obeyed God's voice. Israel didn't. There's a difference.
Yes, sir.
And Deuteronomy 18:15 tells you the reason that prophet is going to come, because they did not obey his voice.
That's right. That's right. And we discussed that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are right. He gave them a warning because they said, we do not want to hear the voice of the Lord thy God anymore, lest we die. And then what did God respond? He said, okay, they are right. I would oblige what they asked for, and I would literally send a prophet like unto you, Moses, where they will hear him, and I will put my words in his mouth, and whatever I command him, he shall say.